the reaper. Amen. And if I were to pick for a subtopic, amen, my subtopic would be, I'm getting the best in this season. Amen. Look at your neighbor and prophesy to your neighbor and tell your neighbor, neighbor, I'm getting the best.
I'm getting the best
in this season.
In this season.
Amen. Touch yourself and tell yourself, self,
Anthony,
I'm getting the best.
I'm getting the best
in this season.
in this season.
Amen. So we approach the story of Ruth and Naomi. Amen. And Ruth and Naomi, amen, were family. Ruth was the daughter-in-law to Naomi. And Ruth, as well as Naomi, all suffered a loss. Naomi lost her husband, amen, and Ruth and her sister-in-law, Orpah, had lost, amen, likewise their husbands, amen, and now they're all widows. And Naomi says to her daughters-in-law that you should go back to your families now because I don't have any more sons for you to marry. I don't have anything, I'm of an old age, and even if I were to remarry again and have another husband, you wouldn't even be able to wait all of those years to be able to have a husband at that time. And so she said, I feel it's in my best interest that you should just go back to your families, that you should just go back from whence you have come from. And so Ruth says to her mother-in-law, I bid you not to leave thee, but your people be my people and your God be my God. And Naomi is looking at her and saying, why would you want to do this when you're such of a young age that you can go on with your life and move on with your life and be well with yourself? But here I am, I'm an old woman, there's nothing I can do. You know, I can't help the fact that I lost my husband, and then I cannot also help the fact that I lost my sons either. Amen. But you're of a young age where you can be remarried again. And I feel it's best that you just go on with your life. But Ruth continues to say to her, no, I'm going to stick by your side and I'm going to be there for you. And I can imagine within my mind, because after researching for a while, amen, what I began to find was that in the Old Testament, under the law, amen, the Jews were commanded that if a woman's husband died and she became a widow, it was the responsibility of her children and their families to take care of the widow. So now we find in this situation where not only the mother-in-law is widowed, but also the daughter-in-law is widowed. And the daughter-in-law is saying to her mother-in-law, we are still family. And it is still my responsibility to take care of you. And what Ruth was saying to her is that not only is it my responsibility